It's John Bowden and a gentleman who helped America get back on the charts and give them their biggest 80s hit. He's a legend himself on Rock History Music. In the 70s, the band America had 9 top 40 hits. 6 of those were in the top 10. 2 were number 1. In 72, their first big hit, A Horse with No Name, and in 75, Sister Golden Hair. The first one, Dewey Bunnell sang. The second number 1, Jerry Beckley sang. By 1977, though, their other member, Dan Peek, left the band. Rock and roll was a little too much for him. It's arguable whether it was Dan Peek's departure that had the band not hit the charts, because he was on some of those albums that didn't make it. By the way, albums that I really loved. Hideaway. Oh my God, I love that record. But it didn't have any hits. By 1982, though, a band that would really write their own hits had a foreign songwriter. Not so foreign, as you'll find out in a second. The guy's had a huge rock and roll career on his own. But he was asked to write America a hit. And he took inspiration from their very first number 1 song, A Horse with No Name. Our special guest is writer of You Can Do Magic, Russ Ballard, on Rock History Music. From the region of Hertfordshire, England, Russ Ballard quietly became one of the most influential forces in rock and pop music. Not by chasing the spotlight, but many times fueling it for others. Born on October 31st, 1945, Ballard first made waves in the late 1960s as the lead singer and guitarist for Argent, co-writing and singing the big hit Hold Your Head Up from the band's third album, All Together Now. They had a few songs that got a lot of airplay. Sweet Mary in 71, Hold Your Head Up was from 72. It was followed by Tragedy the same year, and the rock anthem God Gave Rock and Roll to You. As a solo artist, he built a cult following with albums like his self-titled in 74, which included I Don't Believe in Miracles, which would later be recorded by Zombies lead singer Colin Blunstone, and Canadian C.B. Victoria. In 76 came Winning, which featured the title song, which would become a hit later for Santana. There was also Since You've Been Gone, that would later be a hit for Rainbow. Ballard got a lot of airplay in 1980 with Barnett Dogs, and the hit On the Rebound. Another big album, The Fire Still Burns in 1985, which included the title song and Dream On. But behind the scenes, Ballard was shaping rock radio as a songwriter for hire. He penned New York Groove, which helped Ace Frehley become the most successful Kiss member in the late 80s to record a solo album. He wrote So You Win Again for Hot Chocolate, as mentioned, Winning for Santana. I Know There's Something Going On for Frida of ABBA. You Can Do Magic for America, and another one for Rainbow, I Surrender. While never being a main household name, the rockers know who Russ Ballard is. His fingerprints are all over classic rock. He is the man behind the hits, the voice you've heard 100 times. Quietly prolific and eternally underrated. Russ Ballard, easily an architect of the 70s and 80s and beyond. You Can Do Magic. I love your take on that song on this new album.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that came quick, and I just sat at the piano and playing that, and I thought, oh yeah, this is different. Which I wanted to do that one differently because it's I didn't want to do it so as simple as, I mean, I produced it with America, but I didn't want to make it that simple. I wanted to make it do it differently.
You Can Do Magic. You studied that band when you were writing that song, right?
Yeah. The guy who was head of A&R at the record company got in touch with me and said, could you write something? Could you write something like that could be radio friendly for America? And I listened to their singles. I got their single, listened to everything, and I thought the one thing that stood out for me, especially for was Horse with No Name, and it was so hypnotic. As a record, as a song, it was so hypnotic. Da 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 da. And I went through the journey. We were looking for a riverbed. We were it was hypnotic. It was so hypnotic. And I thought, that's one thing I've got to find, a hypnotic song. Get the phrases very hypnotic. And that's what I did. And so it would sound, because I thought that was the song that's the key to their success. That was And I think that was the element to their success. I mean, great singers, great harmonies, but I thought I want to do something that is very hypnotic, and it worked well.
I listened to what you've done right off the bat, Resurrection, a rocker. The production is amazing to start off this project with me. And I'm going, man, and you do a lot of something that I love that isn't heard enough is that soaring background vocals. Anyone who grew up in the era I grew up going, I want that. I want soaring songs, anthem like tunes, driving songs, which you have a lot on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still love it. Like I loved it when I was 16. I still feel the same, and I usually go into the studio every day, and I'm usually working. My fingers still work. I'm fit. I can run. I can still go out and do it. And I've got tours. I've got tours coming up, and it's magic. And it's such a gift to have this. To still now to be able to still use my fingers. A lot of my friends are ailing. There's problems. Having problems and stuff. And you speak to them, you think, well, yeah, try and get out there, do some meditation, get out there and run, do something, get out there and keep playing. And it's so important, I think we decide to get really old, I think. And I don't intend, if I do, whatever happens, life is life, but I don't intend to get old. As I know I'm aging and we're all age, but I don't think about it that much, to be honest.
How conscious are you of being mindful? Is that part of your routine?
It's a big part of my life. I think if you don't bring it in, people talk about, I meditated today. I always try to meditate every other day. I try to meditate. It's got to bring it into your life. It's got to be so much a part of your life. When you breathe, we don't even think about breath, but when we breathe, we should be conscious. I know it's very, very difficult, but we are what we repeatedly do. And I found that, when you repeatedly learn the guitar, you repeatedly learn to write a song, you repeatedly learn to play the piano, which I have done, the drums. It takes time. It takes time to get better and better. And it's the same with breathing. You study it. And, I'm not breathing. I'm not conscious of breathing. Breathe. And then when a thought comes in, a problem, a thought, a mind wandering, daydreams come in, breathe, be conscious. And that's the win. Once you're conscious, that I've stopped breathing. Now I'm conscious that I've had mind wandering. Breathe and make it a habit. Make it a habit. Slow down. Slow down and get pure. Get soft and become mindful. That's it. Just become mindful, and it's all okay. It's all okay. And we are not what we think we are. We think we are our thoughts and things, and you realize that we are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. Thoughts are, as Krishnamurti said, thought is always the past. It's never the moment. It's the past. Everything we do comes from the past. The fear. Our language comes from the past. All our thought comes from the past. What we say comes from the past. Our history is all from the past. So until you get rid of that, you can never live in the moment. So you have to, thought is not the past. It's not the future. We bring, sadly, what we think, because we are what we repeatedly do, what we think we bring into the now. We bring into the now, unfortunately, what we need to do with breath. You can take that further away. That all gets further and further away. Thought, mind wandering, daydreams, all that kind of stuff. It goes further and further away. And then, you keep breathing and you feel really chilled.
The song Courageous. You're young and strong. Is that about someone?
I had a thing about this song, about this. It's a true story. And I got it from a news item at 1:00. It was a BBC 1:00 news. And how in these news programs, they like to, it's all doom, death and destruction. And they like to have a good feeling end.
A kicker.
Sometimes it's silly. But this one it showed a girl. There's a lot of talk about it. It's probably the same over here, over in America, the idea of social awareness, people going into social housing, people carers and that kind of people caring for others and stuff like that. Well, this was a story about a family. The father wasn't there, but there was a mother who had multiple sclerosis. The daughter, the eldest daughter, was about 11 or 12, and the younger sister was about 8, and a little brother of about 5. And this kid used to wake up every day. This 12-year-old, 11, 12-year-old girl got up every day, made breakfast for mother, breakfast for the brother, breakfast for the sister, got them dressed, or washed them, got them dressed. And then you saw her walking them to school, hand in hand, walking to school with their school uniforms on. And, it's heartbreaking, And they were speaking to this girl, and I thought, I've got to write about her. And she said, she was talking to to the BBC, and said, "No, no, I know my mother has to be looked after, so I'm looking after her. My mother's very ill." It was just amazing. So I wrote this song about her, courageous. You're courageous. It's courageous. You're young and you're so strong. A mother to your brother for so long. Courageous girl. You're in a mad world. Always, always there. Don't see sadness. Only grace, girl. Always there to care for your sister. Now your mother has gone. Courageous, living in a mad world. The whole thing was about her. I wanted to do a video. It would have been a real expensive video, but I wanted to get that story in it. But then people were saying to me, "We can't have it. It's a bit of a doomy story to have that sort of thing." But it stayed with me. That story just stayed with me for. That was about 7 or 8 years ago. And my friend has found. I said to my friend who's now living in Portugal, told him the story. And he came up, he went on to the BBC and he went right the way round for, and he found a few very similar, but he found the actual story. He found the actual recording, the video of it. Amazingly.
Did she ever know it was about her?
I don't actually know, but I think she will find it. I wrote a song about a girl in 90s when I wrote Winning, the album Winning, and it was called A Song for Gail. It wasn't BBC, it was ITV, but it was about a story about a girl that had depression, very big depression. And she said, and they followed her right the way through. They were studying depression, and they were speaking to this girl that kept saying all the way through, "I want to die, I want to die, I want to die." And she was in hospital most of the time. And you thought, this is going to be a happy ending. She's not going to die. And she did die. And she said, all the way through, "I want to die." And they didn't save her. And I wrote this song called Song for Gail. Now, my dear, don't forget to write. Phone me anytime, time of day or night. Here's your money, here's your case. Wipe the tear from your face. So she took the southbound train. Would she ever see again that house, that place, that town? Or is it just a memory? She heard the stranger say, "Are you going all the way? I'm a big man in town. Here's my number, coming round." And it just goes song for another man, another room, another face, another room, another man on another night. What have we got our into? Another faded hotel room, an overrated tape changing too. Another man on another night. What have we got her into? Now my dear, another da, 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 da. And then it was a letter, because this is 1975. Got a letter from the producer or the director of I think she was the director of that whole thing, that story. Got the director saying, "Oh, I've heard your song. Thank you very much, Song for Gail." The story was called Gail is Dead. Not happiest of titles, but that's what it was called. If you find something like that, it's so emotive. I feel I've got to write it. I've got to do something. It's great, as I've said before, as you get older, it's more difficult to write, "Come to me, I love you. Go away. Please come back. I need you back." It's so much harder as you get older. When you don't feel particularly like that, so you're looking for other sort of ideas.
I used to write for a spiritual magazine in Vancouver for
Yeah.
quite a few years. I remember on a primal level thinking when I would write about those kind of stories, I would go, "Oh, I'm keeping that story going. In some ways, that person's not dead, or else they're not forgotten." Or I kept going, "Why am I writing these kind of stories?" And I'm going, I'd be remiss if I would think that somehow a person like that would be forgotten or something, or
Yeah.
elongating the life or
Yeah,
something.
I think it's yeah, that's beautiful actually. That is yeah. I mean, I feel I've been here. Well, I don't say. I feel this is how I feel now as older, and I've said to my friends, you know, what's it like, you know, and I said it's familiar. It's familiar. Getting older, you know, and being young, getting to middle age, and then so on, and this is familiar. I don't know, maybe, and my friend said to me, he said, it might be like you've had operations and stuff in the past. Maybe it's like having a general anesthetic and coming out of an anesthetic. I said, well, it could be. Yeah, this
Isn't
is
that
familiar.
interesting?
This is familiar. And you might find as you get older, it becomes more familiar.
Sometimes people have this little old me thing. Oh, it's just me. But with someone like you, you always have people reminding you how great you are because listen, you're one of those guys that really made a difference in my life an awful lot. But is there a part of you that sometimes goes, well, it's just me? Well, what?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's just, but it's the music, you know. When people, because music, you know, songs are become part of you, don't they? You know, they're part of your, just like I don't know, having a potato, having sort of French fries, you know, and you eat it and it becomes part of you. Music's just the same, you know. It's just the same, and you remember things, you know. You hear a song and you cast back to where, you know, 30 years before and more.
Yeah.
Crazy, but it's very important.
This is a unbelievable record. I mean, it sounds amazing. Your vocals sound amazing. The tunes are great. Is there a part of you that goes, it's not bad being this age. You know, I can do this really well. How do you feel about putting this record together?
If you keep yourself fit, which I do, I mean, I'm fit. I run every day. I ran this morning. I usually run in the afternoon, but I've had things to do today. I keep fit. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 20 years. I've been vegetarian for like 44 years. So I haven't had meat for 40, 44, 45 years. So, I mean, I've been very, very conscious of being healthy and thinking, well, you know, my family, well, at least my mother's side, have lived long lives. And, you know, they're very conscious of, you know, my mum was 90, her brother was 98 and he fell over. But I said to him, you know, you're going to live to 100 easily, you know. And he said, I'm ancient, Russ. I said, yeah, but, you know, I said, what's the secret, you know? And he was just amazing. So I think, and he was also fit. And he said, I don't think I worry, Russ. I think worry is a big problem as you get older. If you want to worry, you start concentrating on, you start focusing on getting older. Well, I don't, you know, I don't want to slow down. I want to do more. I want to do, you know, I've made these two records, this double album, call it a double album, made that in last year and the year before. That was all done basically. Don't slow down, keep running, don't stop. You know, I think it was Clint Eastwood said, don't let the old man in.
Remember, if you want to help the channel, you can always make a donation. We always appreciate it when people try to help us. YouTube is very high on some days and not so high on other days. You can make a PayPal donation right in the very top of the description. Also, join our Patreon. We put stuff on there. There are hundreds of interviews, hundreds of interview clips on Patreon that haven't even been put on YouTube yet. The link also in the description, or buy a Rocky Stream Music cap, jacket, or t-shirt. Check out our swag store. It helps our channel, again, in the description. Remember, it's important if you subscribe to our channel, click the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Like our videos, comment on them, and share them on social media. I'm John Bowden. This is Rocky Stream Music. Take care of yourself.